Hi, my name is Aida Isnaira binti Abdullahid. My matrix number is 09 DRI21F1008.
Assalamualaikum, saya Nurul Najah binti Saini memegang nama matrik 09 DRI21F1 036 daripada kelas DRI1A.
Hi, my name is Nur Adia Nabila binti Sharizul from DRI 1A. My matrix number is 09 DRI21F1020.
Sure everyone knows about this one machine. The name is router. So basically, what is the meaning of router? It is a tool that is used to route out or to hold out an area of a relatively hard workpiece and other materials. What does a router do? The wood router can do a lot more than cut fancy edges. It will also cut flawless edges and create the most perfect wood patterns. And of course, the main purpose of the wood routers is in woodworking and carpentry, especially in the cabinetry. This versatile tool is also commonly used as a plugging tool and can be inverted in a router table. So guys, I guess you all already know about router. So let's move on to the process of routing. The process of routing is the high-speed process of cutting, trimming and shaping the wood, metal, plastic, and variety of other materials. Wood routing is a shaping process used to produce finished edges and shapes. Some materials that are difficult to shape with other processes can be shaped and finished neatly with various routing techniques.
For some lighter jobs, using a wood router can be more convenient than a spindle molder and can do the job much quicker. First, they are using the wood router to build boxes and drawers. Since the beginning of the woodworking, around 5 millenniums ago, woodworkers are making boxes and drawers from wood. In that period, they were making them from only one chunk of wood. That is because with the tools they were using back then, it was not possible to do a box that is looking like the one above quickly and with that precision. So what about cutting dadders? Cutting dadders is the most pure and strongest way to support shelves on the side of a cabinet are dadders. A dadu is a square wall, flat bottom channel that is cut across the grain of the wood. You can cut a dadu or groove into one board and the end of a mating board fits into it. One well-placed, properly sized cut makes the joint. In order to create a dadu, first buy a bit for your wood router that matches the desired dadu width so you can make the cut in one pass. Last but not least is dovetails. This is the hallmark of working craftsmanship.
I will explain about table saw. There are three major table saw categories. First, portable saw. Second, a contractor saw. And the third is cabinet saw. So how to use table saw? Step 1 is safety warning. First, always wear safety glasses. Pay attention to what you are doing and never lose respect for this powerful. Step 2 is parts of the table saw. We have 8 parts. First, table. Second, fence. Fence top. Blade. Blade insert. Blade height adjustment wheel. Blade angle adjustment wheel. and power button. Step 3 is type of cards. There are 3 kinds of card. First, a cross card, a ripping card, and a dado card. So we move to step 4. Step 4 is setting the blade height. How to setting the blade height is set the blade height well above the top of the material to be cut. Step 5 is angel cuts. Table saw are capable of making 2 angel cuts. The first is relative to the plane of the blade and is done by setting the miter gauge. The second angel is relative to the plane of the table. Step 6 is fence adjustment. The setting of the fan is a little more involved. The fan is used to accurately cut pieces of wood lengthwise. The fan is controlled by the dogs or lever at its front. To make an adjustment to the width of your cut leaf, the lever and the fence will slide side to side, raise the blade of the saw so you can measure to it. Step 7 is changing the blades and insert. 3 types of blades and 3 types of insert at our disposal. The standard insert is the one comes with the table saw. It can be used for cross and ripping cuts as long as the waste material is sufficiently big enough that is will not fall into the gap and jam. It must be used for cuts requiring the blade angle to be lowered. Step 8, making the cuts. To make a cross cut, first use an appropriate tool to make a measurement and mark on your board. Do not use both the miter gauge or sled and the fence at the same time. This will cause binding and is dangerous. Always set the length to be cut with measuring tool and then line the mark up by eye. Step 9 is maintenance. There is very little general maintenance that members will have to perform on the table saw. Good habits before starting are to check the drive belt in the rear for wear and check the teeth of the blade for chip wear on or a few carbide missing for the blade. Do not mean the saw is unsafe to use, but that these components may need to replace soon. The last step is step 10, which is do and do not. For do check your material for meter. Do retract the blade into the table when finished. Do use push, sticks and block. And the last one is clean up after yourself. For do not is do not put your hand over or in line with the table. Do not use the fence and the miter gauge at the same time. Do not push the material into the fence too high. Do not saw the push, stick and blocks. Next, we move to advantage of portable table saw. So far, we have 5 advantage. First is portability. Second is energy saving. Third is affordability. Fourth is multiple users. And the last one is safer to use. Here a few safety tips for portable table saw. First, use the right blade for the material you are working on. Second, unplug tool before you change the table. Third, maintain a stable footing and do not overreach. Next, firmly secure the workpiece before cutting. Do not hold a material to cut with your bare hand or across your body part. Keep the portable saw power cord out of the way and away from the line of cut. Ensure that the table is clean and sharp to prevent kickback during use. And the last one is avoid overheating of the portable saw.
So what is circular saw? Circular saw is a power saw using a tooth or abrasive disc or blade to cut different materials using a rotary motion spinning around and above. So what is circular saw used for? If you know nothing about circular saws, you are probably wondering what a circular saw is even used for. It gets confusing, right? With so many saws on the market, why do you need this for your DIY toolbox? A circular saw is a utilitarian workhorse and a useful addition to the toolkit of DIYers. It is most common function to make cuts in a straight line on pieces of lumber, knowing it is parts that makes using a circular saw easier. There are several ways to set up your workspace for using a circular saw. After you figure out what will work best for you, the next thing is to prepare to start cutting. Here are the most important steps to using a circular saw. Step 1 is choose the right blade. All blades are not created equal. Remember this, the more teeth, the finer cut you will get. That is true for any power tool you will use, including jigsaws. Pick the circular saw blade that will give you the type of cut you are looking for. If you are wanting to cut plastic or metal with your circular saw, make sure you buy the type of blade that indicates the blade can cut those materials. Step 2 is adjusting the circular saw blade depth. Using the knob on the back of the circular saw, lower your blade to no more than 1/4 below the bottom of the wood. This provides enough clearance to cut the wood, but it also helps to preserve your blade so it does not dull quickly, and it is safer to only expose enough blade to make the cut. Step 3 is start away from the edge. Before making a cut, let the blade run at full speed before letting the blade connect with the wood. This makes a cleaner cut and reduces the wrist kickback. While your blade is away from the edge, line up the blade with the line before turning on the saw. Keep in mind that the width of the blade itself is about 1/8 thick. This is called curve. So don't cut directly onto your line, or else the thickness of the blade will cut into your measurement. You will be forever wondering why you can't even get a perfect measurement. Instead, cut a little to the side of your line, letting your blade slightly cut into the scrap slide of your wood beside your line. Step 4. Make your cut. Once the blade is moving at full speed, move the circular saw forward and let the blade do the work. Be sure that there is nothing under your project that could snag the blade. Let the blade fully stop when you have come to the end of your cut before lifting it up. When the scrap board falls away, the thickest part of the piece on the circular saw should be sitting on the wood. The scrap wood should be able to easily fall away. And last but not least is safety tips. How to use a circular saw. Here are the general safety rules when using a circular saw. Number 1 is always remove the blade before making adjustments to the saw. Number 2 is wear eye protection and hearing protection. Number 3 is never cut a board or any other material down the middle when it is resting on two supports. This will cause the blade to pinch. Always allow the scrap material to fall away during a cut. And lastly is always wear form-fitting clothes when using power tools, nothing them.